Shemai everybody, Bunky here. Let's get our hands on some big buns in camo and play with the Quarian Infiltrator then. This is going to be the sticky grenade build for her. Okay, this is what I originally had on the human, but she's going to just run away with it. She really is. Tactical Cloak, you want exactly the same. Get the damage, the recharge speed, and the bonus power. Okay, this is going to allow you to use both of your powers in Tactical Cloak because sticky grenades or any grenade power is not going to break your cloak, and Sabotage is going to be our freebie. Okay, it's going to be great for your damage output and your survivability. Sticky grenades though is where the magic happens. Okay guys, build your stickies for radius, armor piercing and damage, and then you've got sabotage to support everything we're going to be doing with the sticky grenades. Build it for backfire. You're not going to need the recharge speed for hers, okay, because you're going to be doing it through Tactical Cloak, and you know, as soon as you're cancelling that power off, you know, your power recharge is incredibly fast. So just get the explosive hack at rank 5. Okay, this is going to really help you out against the Geth because they will cause you problems otherwise, honestly. And then get the tech vulnerability. Sticky grenades aren't tech powers. I know what some of you might be thinking, but the magic is. And the magic is power damage. Okay, guys, so for your Quarian Defender, get the damage and capacity and the power damage. And then you've got enough points to get yourself 3 ranks in fitness. Okay, it's going to help you survive a hit. Now, for the weapon, I'm going to be using the Executioner pistol. Now, it's not going to cause you too many troubles on this build, I promise. In fact, it's going to be a big help. Just get the heavy barrel on there and the power magnifier. Okay, guys, I'll explain why later. And for your equipment, your ammo bonus, highly recommend that you get on the incendiary rounds. Okay, you've got your choices, trust me, and I will get into all of this in the gameplay, but incendiary rounds is going to be your best option. Get your high ones on your 3s and your 4s. For your armor bonus, it's all about power damage, guys. You're really not going to get too much aggro with this build, so just get the power amplifier on there and do some real damage with this character. Your gear bonus needs to be the grenade capacity. Okay, guys, you want as many grenades as you can get your hands on. There's going to be plenty of them flying out. And then for your weapon bonus, obviously just stick on a pistol rail lamp and you will be good to go. Let's get into this, because I got a lot to tell you. Alright, here's the final part of the Reaper trilogy. We're going to be stuffing these big bastards into the stylish surroundings of Goddess now. Having enemies this large in quarters this close is really going to provide a great opportunity for me to show you the power of these sticky grenades. Frankly, it's the bulkiest and therefore easiest set of enemies to stick, and they got very little wriggle room to outmaneuver me. I've also got 2 sets of combos in which to juggle with this loadout that can effectively deal with anything the game throws at it, but there's one in particular I really want to show off. Until I get into that, please note that I am playing with my subs again. Well, actually, this Monkey006 guy is someone we just met. A nice guy, though. Always a pleasure to game with someone you can actually laugh with. Not enough people talk in this team game. But I am joined by NovaGain88 again, though, okay? He's going to be bumping uglies with the Batarian Brawler, and that's going to be adding to the explosive fun this game. And finally, there's the local hero, Bankwell. He does subscribe these days, and he was there for the 360 subs day, but some of you may recognise him from the Krogan Warlord Guide, where he played the role as Pug Who Saved My Ass. Like a true hero, though, Bankwell does not seek adulation. He will be gone before you realise it. Unfortunately, his connection is going to act up and we're going to lose him right from the start. Sorry, buddy. I'll have to try and rope you in again. Speaking of Blast from the Past, though, it is worth noting that this girl can be played just like my human infiltrator in my last video. The Harpoon build is a great way to snipe with this character. Literally, spec her exactly the same. Of course, replacing Cryoblast with Sabotage. Go for damage, recharge speed, and sniper damage in Tactical Cloak. Then you can go with damage and armor piercing in sticky grenades. Then spec Sabotage the same as I have it here. Backfire, explosive hack, and tech vulnerability. And then you need to switch up your passes for weapon damage, power damage, and weapon damage, and then get yourself those 3 ranks in fitness, okay? You may not have the Cryoblast debuff, but with the Backfire evolution of Sabotage will eat through a good chunk of any trooper enemy shields with Tactical Cloak, weakening that enemy enough for one good shot from the Keyshock Harpoon gun with the extended barrel. In fact, you slap on the Sniper Rifle Rail Lamp and the operative package too, and you're guaranteed the best results from both. Granted, the key shock is still tricky to use, but Sabotage can lock up your enemies with 2 staggering forces for an easy shot, guys, okay? Obviously then, if you remember, you've got your sticky grenades for bosses, which will benefit greatly from you having the key shock active, which I will explain in detail in this video, okay guys, bear with me. Until then, just know that with incendiary rounds as your ammo bonus, a quick stick and a Sabotage from Cloak is going to unleash a deadly double explosion for massive damage, as the sticky will benefit from the tactical cloak bonus, and the fire explosion set up and detonated from this strategy is going to be buffed by the tech vulnerability, okay? Just have attached an enhanced scope, because with those masks, no Quarian smoking, and a cyclonic modulator as well, you know, in case you miss and you're left rather vulnerable. Obviously, you can slap on the likes of a Black Widow and skip out on sticky grenades altogether for more health, but that goes without saying. I mean, that kind of damage bonus behind that kind of weapon just wins by the numbers. It doesn't really get you behind the Quarian Infiltrator, though. You know, it's quite a few back here. The abilities that make her unique don't really complement the weapon, or have any real impact on what you do with it. You just won't be getting a feel of the Quarian, or what she can do. You'll be too occupied with stroking your Black Widow. I recommend leaving that kind of hardcore sniping to the Solarian and Quarian male infiltrators. Okay, they have abilities that really support the weapon, and they're always going to be vastly more efficient with it. However, if you're happy to play all your characters exactly the same, just knock yourself out, guys. Really. Again, like the human infiltrator, though, she's actually good behind a shotgun too. Well, any hard-hitting weapon, really, but a shotgun has the right feel, okay, guys? You just weaken the enemy with a good sticky and sabotage combo, just remembering that grenade powers don't break cloak, and then that combo is going to strip the shields of all the enemies in front of you with a tech burst, so you can just blow them away with a quick follow-up shot. Just in case you weren't sure if I've lost my mind at this point, though, I would actually recommend the likes of the N7 Crusader for that build, okay guys, because it has 4 shots you can pop out really quickly, so you can meet the demand of the tech burst. Really, its only major issue is actually connecting with the enemies, and thanks to the tech burst, they're not going to stray far from you. Also, like the key shock, having something like the Crusader active will really benefit your sticky grenades. Slapping one of them on a boss with incendiary rounds is an almost guaranteed fire explosion. Couple that with the DPS of the Crusader, and it's bye-bye boss. The build for that loadout can be almost identical to the weapons build of the human infiltrator. Without a sniper rifle, you only need damage and recharge speed in tactical cloak, and honestly I do recommend the recharge speed 90% of the time. Tactical cloak is just so important in everything you do as an infiltrator that you always want to be able to do it. You cloak to do damage, and you cloak to avoid damage. In the bad situations, it's great to just be able to hit cover and cloak to lose the enemy, and then use your invisibility to get the hell out of there. And, you know, when you're using the full duration of Tactical Cloak, the cooldown can be quite steep, so Rank 5 simply gives you more options. For your sticky grenades, go with radius, armor piercing, and damage, okay? When you're dealing with trash mobs, you're not sticking them, you're just getting it on the ground amongst them so you can set off who you've sabotaged. And sabotage should be spec the same as always, okay, guys? For your passives, again, go with weapon damage, power damage, and weapon damage, and get 3 ranks of fitness. If you attach the Shredder mod and a high velocity barrel to your Crusader, you're going to get massive piercing, and you're going to be completely ignoring armor. And then you'll probably just need the grenade capacity and the power amplifier to keep rolling out those tech bursts. Basically, if you haven't spotted the pattern yet, to play, the human and the Quarian Infiltrator are very similar. That's in no doubt likely due to the fact that they have 2 of the same moves. And also, it's the reason why it's taken me so long to get here. Now, however, the human is always going to be able to do more weapon damage with Cryoblast, and the Quarian is always going to be able to do more power damage with Sabotage. So if you're going to play the both of them like I am now, you at least have, you know, a different strength for each to capitalize on and keep things interesting. For a long time I wanted to put the human infiltrator back as a weapons class for this reason, and relinquish the sticky grenade build to the Quarian, because frankly she's always going to be better at it. Now, Cryoblast work well for slowing down the enemy or freezing them solid for an easy stick, and when and if the latter happens, you could score a cryo explosion alongside whatever else you were setting up for massive area of effect damage. Also, the frozen enemies that you killed would burst into shards, slowing and freezing nearby enemies for another easy stick, much like the effects of the cryo explosion. And that's not to mention that the enemies who were hit with Cryoblast took 25% more damage from this bombardment. However, with Sabotage, you can also really effectively lock up the enemy. Unlike Cryoblast, which is a projectile that can be avoided, Sabotage hits instantly, stunning or even staggering the enemy the moment it's cast. With the Backfire evolution too, the enemy will be stunned and staggered again 1.5 seconds later when said function kicks in. The stagger effect actually happens quite reliably through Tactical Cloak. And with the enemy flailing about like this, they're pretty easy to stick as well. Should you even need to, okay? Because, see, once backfire strikes, the enemy is primed for a tech burst, something your sticky can set off by just exploding near it for heavy damage. That's how you'll see me deal with groups of mooks. You never need to stress over trying to trigger that combo either, because like biotic explosions, tech bursts work on top of shields and barriers, or any resistance for that matter, whereas your cryo explosions only work on unprotected, or rather unshielded enemies. Still, should you opt to stick one of the two organic targets that that you can affect with a single sabotage, your sticky then can reliably set off 2 explosions simultaneously, and power combos have never been stronger than with sabotage. Because instead of a 25% increase to the damage taken by the enemies, there's a 50% boost to the damage we do. And yes, that still trumps the extra 12.5 damage to armor you get with Cryoblast after it's weakened the damage reduction by 25% like it does. See, now, that powerful tech burst is going to make you so much more effective against Banshees and Phantoms as well, okay guys? Because most of the time you cannot directly stick those enemies, as any projectile that comes the Phantom's way, or the Banshees when she's not teleporting, will just have them put up their power blocking barriers, which will just eat your sticky should you try to attach one. However, since Sabotage's hit scan, neither respond to it, and quite often you can get away with planting a sticky on the floor nearby. 2 powers ranked at level 6 produce the strongest power combos, and the 6th evolution of Sabotages will increase this strength again. So being able to strike these enemies like this throughout the whole battle will make short work of them. It really will. That tech vulnerability evolution just works out all over the place though. It takes effect the moment you cast Sabotage on an enemy, not just increasing your tech explosion damage, but any tech power damage, okay? That goes for your backfire and explosive hack damage in Sabotage too. See, through Tactical Cloak with the power bonuses of this build, the backfire damage is enough to completely strip the shields of any gold mook or even platinum marauder, okay? So that one good shot drops them. This is because the power also has a 200% resistance damage multiplier to shields. So all you need to do against stray small enemies is cloak, sabotage and shoot. Make sure you understand that in that last statement though, I refer only to shields, okay, and not shields and barriers. I know I usually group them together, but that's because they largely work the same. Now what sucks about Sabotage, however, that you got to understand, is that the backfire, that backfire thing doesn't take effect on against synthetic enemies at all. What happens instead is that you hack them. This usually immobilizes the target for a while or has it perform a weak melee attack against its allies' pets and summons, which they annoyingly prioritize. This sucks, honestly, it really does. I mean, a hacked enemy will fire projectiles at its allies, but they rarely do much damage for you in the grand scheme of things. Sabotage will only hit one synthetic enemy at a time, and the more you hack an enemy, the more of an immunity it builds to being hacked, making the duration of the effect get smaller and smaller until it's non-existent. And if you hack an enemy in the middle of an attack or action, it's going to finish that action against your team before switching sides, while still subtracting that time from the effect's duration. And not even the hacked enemy's allies will give a damn for the first 8 seconds, guys, so you don't even think that you've got a decoy with it either. To get the most out of hacking, you're best off with Cerberus turrets, Geth pyros and Geth bombers. They'll do the most damage and staggering for you because they can't melee, essentially. Still, what hurts the most is the fact that you lose your tech burst primer because you haven't got that backfire thing happening. Fortunately though, we always have sticky grenades, and the sticky grenade bug. Now when you attach a sticky grenade to an enemy, it will apply the ammo bonus of your currently active weapon. What's that, you ask? Well, it depends on a lot of things. Firstly, as you might have guessed, a major factor is what weapon you're using. As you'd imagine, the guns in this game hit at varying strengths, and their overall effectiveness is determined by how hard, often, or accurately they can do it. Your weapons will hit harder through they'll hit harder for the amount of weapon damage bonuses you can score, but the size of those bonuses that the weapon receives will be determined by its base damage value. And the base damage value essentially is what the damage the gun does at its base, or on its own. I know guns don't kill people, your characters do, but it's like taking a level 0 character out with it with no equipment or weapon mods. You know, like how your standard pug would play with it, basically. Now, all damage bonuses are separate of each other. You don't score 5% from your passives, for instance, and then increase the damage further through your tactical cloak bonuses. No. You get a 5% bonus from your passives, plus an 80% bonus from tactical cloak. So it's like this. Executioner pistol, level 10, does 981 damage per shot. The points in my Quarian Defender tree net me a 5% weapon damage bonus, and 5% of 981 is a little bit over 49. Then, Tactical Cloak gives me a mighty 80% damage bonus. 80% of 981 is a little under 785. So the damage I can do with a single shot from the Executioner Pistol with my passives and Tactical Cloak bonuses is 981 plus 49 plus 785, totaling at 1,815. Now, if you've forgotten, we select what our ammo bonus is from the equipment menu. There, we're shown what percentage the damage boost is. Therefore, your ammo bonus is that percentage of your active weapon's base damage value. Basically, it's not affected by any other part of your loadout. So, for the most ammo bonus damage, you want the weapons with the highest base damage values, or base projectile damage. For the pistol category, that's the Executioner Pistol and the M77 Paladin. Before, you might remember that I used the Talon for this sticky grenade build. The Talon is in fact a poor choice, okay, because as the ammo bonus damage that the sticky grenade will inflict will only be a percentage of one of its 6 projectiles. A level 10 Talon may be capable of 703 damage per shot, but that's only if all 6 pellets hit. See, a single pellet from the Talon only does 117 damage, so pellet weapons in general are not good for that reason. Pistols, on the other hand, are, though, okay, because you can attach a power magnifier to any of these and increase the damage the sticky grenade's actually supposed to do. So the ammo bonus doesn't have an effect, you know. See, because, sorry, I'm mixing up my words. See, what you need to understand is the ammo bonus doesn't have an effect on the explosion at all. It's just a little extra damage and effect that's applied upon contact when you stick the enemy. So with that in mind, though, the Executioner Pistol will, with the power magnifier, of course, will produce the most damaging sticky grenades in the game when you consider the amount of damage it's able to do on contact, when it explodes, and what happens afterwards. That's not to mention the innate piercing the gun has as well, guys, which leaves us a mod slot free to score another 40% damage bonus while we work on our powers here. However, despite there being a power magnifier for SMGs, okay guys, because I know that's where your head might go, there is no actual SMG that hits particularly hard enough with each projectile. See, there are weapons that blow out their clips incredibly quick, and there are weapons that hit incredibly hard. The best weapons are the ones that usually find a good balance of the two to produce a good DPS, or damage per second. See, all SMGs are part of the former, so sticking an enemy with one of these active inflicts a minuscule amount of damage that's unlikely to have any effect beyond that. It is only because of their incredible rate of fire in play that they're able to prime targets as efficiently as they do. So what you've got to keep in mind at all times is that the sticky grenade essentially adopts the same properties as a single projectile from your weapon. Onto the weapons that do hit hard, though. Your best picks from the shotgun category are the Geth Plasma Shotgun, the Venom Shotgun, and the N7 Crusader, as I said before. Now, 2 of those are ramp-up weapons, and unlike your standard weapon bonuses, a ramp-up multiplier will increase your ammo damage. This is because a charge shot actually modifies a weapon's base damage value, as opposed to simply add to it, affecting the math at its core. Good luck doing this on a control pad, of course. But despite this, though, I've read that this has no effect on the sticky grenade. Honestly, I see no reason why throwing a sticky when your gun is charged wouldn't increase the damage it does on contact, especially when you consider the sniper rifle option. See, now, your sniper rifles, of course, hit the hardest, so you'd think they're your best choice. You can play with the Mantis, the Widow, the Keyshock, the Chrysay, the Black Widow, the Javelin, and the Valiant to great effect. However, if you throw a sticky without aiming in, the damage it inflicts on contact will suffer the hipfire penalty that any of the sniper's projectiles would if you were to do the same while shooting. This is because the hipfire penalty is a line of code that directly alters the weapon's base damage value as well. See, so that's why I think the shotgun thing should work, or at least the charge shot thing should work. Now, the Keyshock Harpoon Gun is the only sniper rifle without a hip fire penalty, and therefore the only one you don't have to throw a sticky from scope with. With the generally high base damage value of sniper rifles, this makes the Keyshock the second most effective weapon with the sticky grenades, as you might have noticed from my last video. Also worth noting, though, guys, is weapons like the Chrysay, that has a 150% resistance damage multiplier to armor. What you need to understand, though, guys, is this has no effect on your stickies, okay? And such properties will not be adopted, unfortunately. Finally, though, there's your assault rifle category, and this falls under the same issues as your SMGs, unfortunately. I can only really recommend the Sabre. See, if the base damage value isn't over 500, it isn't worth it, to be honest, for both your sticky grenades and your general weapon damage. You know, which will significantly alter your effectiveness against boss enemies, because, you know, your grenades are always limited. See, all projectile weapons are great for your stickies, but most are not good for focused fire. So yeah, but now you know what the weapons will do for you. It's time to know about the most important factor of your ammo bonus. Don't get me wrong, your weapon choice is important, as the more ammo damage you do generally seems to improve your chances of setting the other in motion. What I'm referring to now, though, is the unique effects of each ammo bonus. I've had one in action this whole video, guys, and it's wrecking up the place. See, with almost every ammo bonus, there is a damage increase and an effect. With Incendiary Rounds 4, let me do this. With Incendiary Rounds 4, like I'm using, for example, you deal 50% of your weapon's base damage value to health and armor over the next 3 seconds, and also have a good chance of setting the enemy on fire. And what this means is that when you attach a sticky grenade to an enemy with the Incendiary Rounds ammo bonus, they'll take the damage and get primed for a fire explosion. So then, when your sticky grenade explodes on the enemy, it detonates that fire explosion for a free tech explosion every time. It's like hitting an enemy with carnage and then blowing them up with a frag grenade all in one maneuver. Literally, you can cloak and sabotage that the enemy takes a big hit from the backfire function because it's buffed by tactical cloak and the tech vulnerability feature. Then you stick the thing while it's stunned and it takes burning damage on contact. The grenade explodes then for massive damage through tactical cloak, which sets off the fire effect for a fire explosion for another huge hit, which is also buffed by the tech vulnerability from sabotage. It's an incredible amount of damage to be dealt in a single combo, guys. It really is. So yeah, you want your elemental ammo equipped to capitalize on that. You absolutely do. Disruptor Rounds 4 will deal 25% of your weapon's base damage to every defense, bar armor, instantly, with the damage being multiplied by 4 when it hits shields or barriers. Then, of course, you have the fact that you may electrocute the enemy and therefore prime them for a tech burst. Cryo rounds, unfortunately, don't add any damage, but they may freeze health and armor, priming a cryo explosion and weakening armor by 65% for 5.5 seconds. It will also slow all targets by 35%. If you haven't got any elemental ammo, though, there are still some benefits to the others. Although you will be missing out on some awesome free tech explosions, okay? You'll do 50% of your weapon's base damage again to health and armor with armor piercing rounds 4 and 30% with drill rounds 3. Obviously, your sticky grenade is still a projectile, though, okay? So it's not going to start piercing through anything when you throw it. And then I've read that Phasic rounds 4's damage affects everything. But I've also read that it doesn't affect armor at all, so you guys will have to clue me into the truth behind that one. It either does its advertised 15% damage to health and nothing to armor, or it does half of that to both of them. And when it hits shields and barriers, guys, the damage is multiplied by 10, potentially dealing the most damage you can do on contact with a sticky grenade. You slap one of them on a Praetorian's barriers while holding a javelin, and you will do 2,319 damage before it even explodes. Finally, though, and probably your best non-elemental choice is Wart Rounds 4, because they will do 60% of your weapon's base damage to everything but shields, and that will double the damage against barriers. While at the same time, it will also weaken armor by 65% for 4 seconds, so it's going to kind of make your stickies like a debuff power as well as an attacking power. But yeah, that's all the magic to the sticky grenades, guys. You have fun with that. From there, you want to be increasing your grenade count in your gear slot with something like grenade capacity, ideally, shock trooper upgrade, warfighter package, or at a stretch the assault loadout for some extra thermal clip packs. Otherwise, take the mental focuser or some kind of shield bonus, okay? Because if you can't, basically all you can do is make yourself stronger if you can't get your hands on any more grenades, really. And for your armor bonus, do the same. Use a power amplifier or a cyclonic modulator. Shield power cells would be better, actually, if you're struggling to stay alive, because honestly, you shouldn't. With the bonus power evolution in Tactical Cloak, and the fact that grenade powers don't break Cloak, you can essentially go about your business without ever revealing yourself to the enemy. Okay, so it's literally striking completely from the shadows and taking them by surprise every time. There shouldn't be a lot of aggro coming your way, and like I explained with that combo, a lot of damage is coming out. And that's the tech burst I was talking about before that you can just wreck the Bwncis with. Honestly, with practice, an adrenaline module will up your game further, because, that's just going to allow you to get around faster, especially if you haven't got extra grenades, okay? That means you can just hit all the ammo boxes before anybody else can and get your hands on as many grenades as you can. Not to mention that you can fly around and do the damage, guys, okay? Because it's heavy, heavy damage. But yeah, this has been a mouthful, though, hasn't it? I hope you've been able to digest it so you can all have fun with it, because... this sticky grenade bug is quite incredible. Look, boom. I don't need to do anything else to that that Ravager. Once you've cloaked and you've sabotaged the poor thing, and then you attach a sticky grenade when you've got an elemental ammo on, that's just going to be a hard-hitting tech explosion. That's just going to destroy it, absolutely decimate it. And you know, that's why she's always going to be better, because you know, having that tech vulnerability on free tech explosions, it should go without saying, as an amazing little bonus that you can have in this game. I did my video on the sticky grenade a while ago, and I heard all of it through I heard about all of it, sorry, through friends, and there was well, the details were lapsed, to be honest. So when I came out and started regurgitating everything, I kind of over-exaggerated it. It's not as powerful as I made out before, but it's still a deadly, deadly combo that you can just go to town with, guys. It's incredible that something like this flew under the radar for as long as it could, because as you can see, like, the human and the Quarian Infiltrator have been in the multiplayer since day one. So literally, bring them back to the front line, guys. Okay, don't let them get buried under all these fancy reckoning characters with their ginormous sizes and stuff. Okay, guys, these guys will take you through the game, and you'll do well with them. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. We're going to be wrapping up here. This is Extraction. I think we might get full Extraction. Oh no, there goes Novocaine. Sorry, buddy, I did try to save you. Spoke too soon, guys. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. I've been Bwnci. Please give me a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe if you did. And I should have some good stuff for you next week, okay, guys? I am going to try and get these out weekly. I've received a bit of new information recently that's caused a little bit of a setback for the next video. I am going to have to re-record that, but I should hopefully get that out for you by next week, okay, guys? Here we go, 3 seconds on the clock, and we are going home. And as for you guys, I will say bye-bye and take care of yourselves, guys. I'll see you in the next video.